And yeah, you actually had a rough come up, didn't you?
Oh, I had a very
Swagger.
rough come up. One thing that happens a lot with shrooms, very common, a common symptom, is that you'll get very dizzy and it might upset your stomach. So what happens when you're
yikes.
dizzy and your stomach gets upset? You have to throw up. And so,
Oh,
you know,
but you
I
wouldn't want to, right?
I was feeling really sick. Probably a good 45 minutes to an hour into this like come up. And I was like, you know, and I remember being on the couch and Fitz was like, oh, what do you want to do? And I was like, I'm going to munt. And so he was like, oh, okay. The trip sitter was like, oh, all right, you're right. And I was like, no, I'm fine. Like, I just got to go to the bathroom and throw up. So I went to the bathroom and I'm throwing up in the toilet and I'm spinning and I'm fucking going, I'm closing my eyes and I'm seeing shit and I'm like fucking, you know, oh shit. And I am throwing up for like a solid 15 minutes. And I'm throwing up to the point where like I'm throwing up nothing. Like my body is just lurching. I got stuck in this cycle of like I need to throw up. Like I'm still dizzy. I still feel bad. My body, you know, because the body's natural reaction to like eating a mushroom and then feeling weird and like, you know, disoriented is to throw it up because the body thinks it's poison. And so
when you take ayahuasca, right? Don't they just like puke for an hour?
Oh, they
much?
puke
like
for ages.
Yeah,
it's like quote unquote purging.
Does puking get rid of the mushrooms like effects at all?
Well, I no. Well, the thing is, I threw up a really decent amount of the shrooms. I maybe threw up probably a gram, so I probably threw up like half the take. But the thing is, like a lot of it was already digested, and you know, there was already psilocin going in. There was still some in my stomach. And you know, I was getting to a point where I'm just over the toilet and I'm just tripping balls. My eyes are closed, like I'm throwing up. I see these patterns, these fucking like, it was crazy. It was basically like a bunch of waves, like strings that were like going like a waveform, and they were all stacked on top of each other, and then they were twisting into knots. And then along these strings was like this pulsating checkered like glow, like these lights that were just kind of sprinkling across, and it just kept warping and twisting and going in and then fading out and then going really close and then going out and then fucking twisting and unwinding, and it was very intense, which just made me want to throw up more. And it got
the
to
entire
the point,
time that's
hey, go ahead.
The entire time that Swagger's in the bathroom throwing up, I'm obviously on my come up as well.
Yeah.
And I was weirdly undistressed by the situation because I'm just in Swagger's home, like on his couch. We put on these visuals on the TV of like basically a like 4K forest walkthrough where it's like a steady cam just going on this beautiful nature walk. And I'm kind of just like looking at this and listening to like psychedelic rock and just enjoying some music. And in the background, all I hear is, and I'm like tripping dick myself. So I'm kind of thinking like, oh no, is that going to be me? Am I going to throw up? And I was like, you know, whatever happens. Like,
I remember
just feeling at peace with whatever was going to come my way. I've already eaten them.
That's crazy.
I was feeling giggly and drunk. I was like walking around and like looking outside like, whoa, like, and kind of like looking at the trip sitter, you know, while Swagger's puking, we can just hear the noises, and I'm just like, haha, like, you know, it's pretty funny. Like, it's just kind of like laughing.
I heard them laughing
Swagger's pain.
in the room, and you know, I'm tripping, and I'm hearing them laugh, and I'm like, well, I guess somebody's like, you know, at least taking some joy out of this suffering. So like that made me feel actually a little bit better. I remember feeling like quite worried and like empathetic towards you, and that's when I kind of started checking on you and sitting down on the floor next to you while you were and
there.
The trip sitter, you guys came by. The trip sitter actually poured a glass of milk because I told her basically one thing to note is that you know, I don't know whether or not this is really grounded in fact or if this is just an urban legend that I heard and then believed and then tried. But basically, say somebody is on a lot of shrooms and they're freaking the fuck out. They took way too much and they're freaking out on their come up and they want it to end. You just get a glass of whole milk and you have them drink it. And apparently, I think it's like the lactic acid or something in the milk will neutralize the psilocybin so that it isn't processed into psilocin so that you don't get any more high. And then at that point, your come down like starts. Like that's the peak, that's the cutoff. So then it's just you know, slow roll down. So she got me milk, and I was like,
milk.
That's exactly what that's from. Because there was a guy who was tripping on shrooms, and the girl was like, he needs some milk. He needs some milk.
Oh, shit. What the fuck?
So apparently that's where that comes from. I don't know if that's entirely true. There's a chance it could be wrong. I'm sure anyone can just fucking fact check it. But
it's worth a shot, though.
It was worth a shot. And either way, like, in my mind, I figured, well, it might work. And so I don't know if it was the placebo they call me down, or if it actually worked. But I drank it, and I was just kind of stable for like a good 10, 15 minutes. And like I remember getting up out of the bathroom, flushing the toilet, walking into the living room. Cam, the trip sitter there, they look at me and they go, okay, well, what do you want to do? And then I just looked at them and I go, oh, yeah, I'm going to munt. I just went right back into the bathroom and I fucking threw up again. I threw up
Sounds
for like another
awesome.
10,